Hey guys, it's Alex. For this video, I'm going to be reading scary stories and you get to see how I react to it. So, I think it might just be one because it's quite a long one, but this one is called The Cat's Paw. And it said, when this happened, I was living in a small house with my boyfriend, now my husband, and our two cats. I was especially close with our male cat, my baby. My boyfriend always joked that he followed me around like a little dog. He was always happy to see me, always wanted to cuddle me, and would even lick my hair when I was upset. I had never loved a cat so much. My boyfriend was out of town for most of the week for work. I had stayed late at work myself this particular night, so it was dark by the time my train pulled into the local station. I usually walked home since it was such a quiet, safe place and only about a 20-minute walk. Part of the walk took me past a church with a small graveyard. At the edge of the graveyard, sort of overlooking the road. I'd never been particularly afraid of cemeteries, always found them rather peaceful. But that night, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. I hurried past but sort of felt as if I was being followed. I kept checking over my shoulder and had my cell phone gripped in my hand, but I didn't see anything. I yelled at myself a little for being so stupid and scaring myself. I got home, was grateful for the light and locked the door. My boy cat was at the door to greet me. I thought he might want to go out into the yard. He wasn't really an outdoor cat, but he would wander around the yard with me watching. He usually begged to go outside with me, but this time when I went to unlock the door, he gave me a strange look and didn't want to go out. I left the door unlocked and turned on the TV to try and calm down. My baby stuck with me all night. He seemed more skittish than usual. Any time there was loud noise on the TV, or his sister cat, or I moved, he would half jump up and look around wide-eyed. At bedtime, both cats followed me upstairs. By now my girl cat was acting jumpy too. I had finished in the bathroom and I was standing on the landing at the top of the stairs, about to go into the bathroom. I noticed my boy cat staring up at the ceiling, so I looked up. Above the landing to the door was the attic. Suddenly there was a loud scraping sound like metal being dragged along the attic floor. I ran downstairs and both cats instinctively followed. I hit the lights on downstairs. I could hear the noise, now a rattling sound. I was trying to think what to do. My cat was beside me, looking up at me. He had a funny look on his face, but if he was concentrating hard, he opened his mouth. He said, out. My boyfriend and I had joked about his meows sometimes sounding like actual words, but it was so clear. Out. It was still cat-like, what I imagine a cat accent would sound like even if they spoke English. But it was just so clearly the word out that I couldn't believe it. I opened the door, scooping up his sister into my arms, and she was freaking out by now. And we all went out, closed the door behind us, and I really had no idea what to do, as it was all so weird and I didn't want to seem like a crazy person. I walked towards the front fence, staring at one cat. My baby wasn't following me now, but had his back to us while he stared at the front door, and then he just lost it. I've never seen a cat behave as he did. He was screeching, twisting his whole body around while he slashed at the air. I put my other cat down and tried to go to him, but he turned around, hissed at me, and gave me a slashing motion like he wanted me to stay back. This carried on for a whole minute while he jumped around and slammed into the ground and looked like he was really getting hurt. I was in tears as I didn't know how to help him. And just as suddenly as it started, he stopped. He stared up into the distance a few seconds, then started calmly washing his paws. Eventually he came over and rubbed himself against my leg. About a month later I noticed he was bleeding from his paw. I took him to the vet, who said he probably got his claw stuck in something and tore the skin and get him free. Said it should be healed by itself, but after another week it hadn't, so he had to have stitches. Almost exactly a year later he started bleeding from his paw again. They ran tests on him, but everything came back normal, and all they could do was stitch it up again. The bleeding paw continued on and off for another couple of years, although it never seemed to get in the way of him being a happy, fun, loving cat. Unfortunately, during another round of testing this year, they found cancer, and though he is doing well, probably doesn't have long. I still have no idea what actually happened that night, but it does feel as if he saved me and his sister from something. Sometimes I wonder if the cancer is related. Whatever it all means, he's a wonderful, brave cat, and I will always love him. That is creepy. There's got to have been something there that attacked the cat that night. The cat wouldn't just react like that. That is not right at all. Right, I can do another short one. It's called Don't Worry, I'm Leaving. It said, this happened to be a friend of a friend earlier this summer. I'll call her friend Jane. Jane is a nurse who works a specific shift in a local hospital and keeps a very consistent schedule. She gets up at 5 AM, takes a shower and then heads off to work. Jane lives in a bungalow a block away from Green Lake in Seattle. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Green Lake is a really popular place for running, outdoor and park activities, dining, etc., and it is super busy during the summer. It's common for people to be out late at night during the summer, so Jane didn't think anything was amiss when she heard noises outside her house at midnight. She woke up again around 3 AM, but this time the noises were louder, like something was hidden or tapping her house. She turned on all the lights and walked around her place, but didn't see anything and went back to bed. She felt uneasy and didn't sleep well for the rest of the night and woke up just before her alarm went off at 5 AM. As she sat in bed, she looked through her open bedroom door to see a man on all fours, army crawling down the hall towards the bedroom. As my friend tells it, Jane screams, and she goes to grab her phone to call 911. The man calmly stands, looks at her and says, "Don't worry, I'm leaving." The man turned around and walked towards the front door. She shut her bedroom door and called the police. After the police arrived, she discovered the man had removed all of her window screens and presumably entered her home around the time she woke up at 3 AM. The police did not believe he intended to rob her, since he didn't take any of her valuables. The only thing he did take were her car keys and her house keys that were in her purse by the front door. My friend's husband is a cop and believes the only reason this guy was so calm is because he has likely done this before. He also thinks he had probably been watching her for some time as he knew her schedule well enough to attack her when she was most defenseless. Whether he took her keys as a mindfuck or because he intended to come back is beyond me, but it's so creepy. What? No. That's odd. So you're just gonna casually walk in and go, "Oh, don't worry, I'm leaving, it's fine." That is not normal. You don't just walk into someone's house and go, "Oh, don't worry, it's fine, I'm leaving now." That is really weird. Anyway, guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you like and take time to subscribe, leave a comment on what video we should do next. See you in the next one. Peace.